last year I made a small zine of my favourite pictures from the year, pictures of friends, family, a list of all the places I'd been, just to sort of have what happened throughout the year in a little booklet form. But I wasn't really pleased with the printing of this. I got it printed online. So I thought instead of doing that, I'd print the zine myself this year. So this is my attempt at printing a little zine of 2025 in a protective case, because the paper I use, it turns out, can be damaged. It's a bit delicate. So let me just squeeze that off. So there you go, 2025. And I'm just going to go through and talk about some of the images. So these are my favourites and things that I remember well from 2025. The front cover image we'll come to later, but that is from Paris, obviously, and it came out quite nicely on this. You could probably hear it actually. It's a very nice Ilford, I think it's semi-gloss duo, something like that, book paper, so double-sided paper. So this is the first time I tried to actually print the zine myself, and then this is stapled zine, so quite easy to make. So the first thing I do when I made my other zine was have a first couple of pages where I've been throughout the year. Not all of them, but some of the the ones I remember, and then a page of friends, family, etc. So that's always the start page. So this, I'm a member of Exeter Camera Club, and they always do a lot of outings, especially around the summertime. And this was a trip to Hound tour, and the horses there were, how should we say, for the public, they were very happy. They were very happy that day. So I've got a picture of the horses there, and then we were there for sunset. So I have the moon actually setting just behind the other tour actually that you can see from Hound Tour here as well. These are all recent film scans actually. I didn't even know that I had these because I put off scanning film for so long. So if you've got film lying around, scan it. Again, another outing, not with the local camera club, but with the RPS, the Royal Photographic Society, and their landscape group. So a couple of us went up from Exeter. And I think these are film, although I'm not 100% sure, I can't remember on this. So just some forest photography, some good mushrooms to photograph on the day. This next one might require some explaining. So this is an Exeter Camera Club trip that we did to Dartmoor to do astrophotography. And I have done a lot of astrophotography in my life because my degree was in astrophysics. And this image was supposed to be a nice panorama of a conjunction that happened between several planets. So I think we've got Venus and Jupiter and Mars in this image, but multiple times because the software got very confused. But I like it. I know where the Pleiades is in this image. If you know where it is, then comment below as well. So mistakes can lead to good things. And then on the other side, we've got our trip to Portland, a climbing trip to Portland actually, and this was having fish and chips on Chesil Beach with the seagulls. There weren't too many of them, thankfully, but you couldn't see, it was just too foggy. So this was a very nice black and white image, I felt, very suited to black and white. Okay, and then I come to, I guess, a mistake in my zine making, where I have, in a later page, you'll see a a picture that covers 2 spreads, but because of the way it's printed, you can actually see through the middle because of the binding. So that's something I will take into account next time. If you want to see how I made the zine and things that I would change, tips and tricks for next time, then let me know and I will do a video on making of this zine and the papers, etc. So these are a couple from Paris. Paris was mainly a work trip, but also a few days of holiday, and these are 2 very iconic locations, but I like the different angle on them, especially the strange Olympic man. There's a lot of Olympic stuff around the tower. This is going to show up quite poorly, I think, on the video. It was very hard to print this as well, because if I show you, this is pretty much all a black print. And the only bit of colour is at the bottom, where I've got some clouds. There are a few stars here, but they didn't print very well. So what this is actually not translucent clouds, but seen from an airplane. We were coming back from Greece, and on the way, looking at the right-hand side, and it was just the right time to get the rising sun illuminating those clouds to see them from the airplane, and you wouldn't be able to see it from the ground because it was a lot of low cloud cover. So that was quite an experience. You definitely see a lot more in the image I have, and I'm going to try and print it again better. Maybe that's one thing for this year. A lot of my images are dark, so I'd like to try and print them properly and try and print those blacks, but still retain the detail and the color in the other parts of the image as well. I find it quite hard. So here I've got another image of the clouds, but zoomed in. It was very hard to do from the airplane, but you can sort of see the structure in the clouds. So I think they go well together. Maybe I should put them on the same page. And then another underwater image from Rhodes with GoPro, and I took one last year. It's on the cover of the other zine that I've just thrown off the table, and I like this one. The other one is a bit more abstract, but this one you can see the fish in more clearly there, a lot more close up. Now these are from a project that I've started, but I haven't really figured out what to do with yet, which is looking at gardens and flowers and the sort of colour and form they take, and the design that people, the design of the gardens, if you like. So here I've got a picture of an Acer, and I've superimposed a hand-drawn line art of the sort of form of the Acer. So you've got the colour and the form together. And then very similar for the foxglove here, except that the line art is in white. So those are both from my grandmother's garden. So I'll see what I want to do with that this year. These I know are filmed. They're 2, I think they're Phoenix film images from the Gower. This was a climbing trip. We didn't do an awful lot of climbing because the weather wasn't great, but it was great for photography, and it was a beautiful place. So we went to Rhodes twice last year. Second time my sister had just had a baby, so this was from our second trip of the year, I think. And we've got some images of Lindos and some of the other castles around the island. Some places that we hadn't been to before, which was interesting because we go almost every year to see family. So it's nice to see something different, different place to sort of reinvigorate the will to take photos in a place you've perhaps been to many, many times, and just get a different perspective, different weather perhaps. And then the very back image is a picture from Popples Bay, which is also Wales on the Gower Peninsula. And I think I freaked some people out with this one because I entered it into into our local club competition. We only have 2 a year, where they wanted a title, and I find it hard to give titles. I don't really want to give all my images titles, so I just called it Prey. I was like, I'm there in the gap in the rocks, waiting for somebody to come past to take the photo, and apparently that's a bit sociopathic. Is that the right one? Anyway, there we go. So that completes that. The back and the picture of Paris again on the front. And they both came out quite nice on the shiny paper, even though that is black and white. You might think it would be better on a matte paper, but I think it works quite well. Okay, and then this, as I said earlier, this paper actually, the surface of it is quite easy to mark. So what I've just done is I've taken a piece of vellum and made a sort of sliding cover for it, and the same for 2024, so they can be together. Some mistakes while making the zine, but I fixed some of them, and it is, again, I think I said in my previous video, really fun to see your own images printed, and now I have records of where I've been, pictures of friends, family, and my favourites from the year, for both last year and this year. So I'm definitely going to do it again next year. I have an idea of how to make the zine next year slightly differently. So not staple bound next year, I don't think. And I think that will allow me to print the images on any paper that I like, instead of using the duo paper, which is the double-sided paper that I've done this time. So if you are interested in zine making and printing, let me know below, and I will maybe make some more short videos on how to make a zine like this one, and how I'm going to make the one for next year as well, maybe do some more testing for that. Okay, so the next video that's going to come out is probably going to be all about your 5-a-day fruit. So until then, stay safe and keep shooting.